Hello.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Anthony, how's it going?
Hey, I'm great, man. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing really well.
Thanks for making that environment for us, man. I'm looking forward to helping you out, posting, whatever I can there.
Yeah, dude, appreciate it. And sorry I didn't get to meet you sooner. You know, you've been in my inbox a long time, and I've been aware of your work for like over a year, and I'm glad you reached out though. Yeah, no, I mean, everybody has a lot going on, right? Anyone who's doing anything, but I'm glad you reached out and like happy to chat anytime. And
like, are you usually in Denver or do you travel a lot? Or?
Yeah, I'm usually here. Anytime you're out here, hit me up because I'd love to grab a beer or coffee with you.
I'm a huge fan of craft beer. Like when I was there in Denver, I don't know if you're a big beer fan, I was just like heaven.
I'm a huge fan. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you too. Have a good one, Anthony.
All right, bye.
That was Anthony Moore, one of the top writers on Medium, who happened to get his start on The Ascent. Hello everyone and welcome to The Ascent. I'm your host Steve Campbell. It's been a very busy day for me so far. As you can see, I've had some calls this morning. Really been spending the most of the morning, most of the day, just banging out the rest of that freelance stuff, just pouring hours into that. Unfortunately, still have a lot more of that to do, much more than I originally thought I would. And but I have my marching orders for Journey and the stuff I want to do there, and so I'm probably just going to work on through the night and just put in some late hours. But before we get into that, I'd like to test out a new segment I'm calling Craft Beer Thursday. So as some of you might know, I actually spearheaded an initiative called Craft Beer Thursday at VaynerMedia. VaynerMedia always had a company-sanctioned Wine Wednesday. Not sure if they still do, but us loyal craft beer drinkers in the office all got together and decided to create our own group. And we would just meet almost every Thursday. It was, more like an every other week kind of thing, but we met on and off for like 4 straight years and had different people come and go, and we would either meet at bars or we would all sort of just bring in just different cool beers that we each wanted to try and just have it tasting in the office. So because I still love craft beer and because I live in the great state of Colorado where there's 600 plus breweries, I wanted to continue that tradition through my vlog. I was a big fan of this show called Dig Nation growing up on the internet, and with starring Kevin Rose when he was the founder of Dig, and all those guys would do every day is just get together, drink a beer, and then just talk about the news. And so I fell in love with that, the internet fell in love with it, and I've kind of been dying to do it ever since. So the first beer we're reviewing ever on the show is Sour Monkey by Victory Brewing, Downingtown, Pennsylvania brewery. Love drinking stuff from Victory. I love that sound. Victory's Golden Monkey is probably one of the stronger beers you'll find, and the Sour Monkey is actually equally as strong, except it's also a sour. Cheers. So it says here that this is a Sour Brett Tripel, and I don't know too much about beer, but I know more than the average person, and I know that Brett stands for Brettanomyces, which is a type of bacteria that you find in beers that are typically sour in taste, and triple is kind of the reason why it's so strong alcohol-wise. So let's give it a sniffy sniff. Shout out to Gary V. Definitely smells sour and lemony. Oh man, super sour, super tart, lemony definitely. You can't really taste the alcohol considering how much there's in there. And the acidity is pretty high. Like I could feel it like burning my mouth a little bit. You can see the light color of this one. It's more of like a Pilsner, and I'm a bigger fan of sours that have a red hint to them, have a little bit more fruit taste to them, more wine taste. So not the best sour I've ever had, to be honest with you, but I'd still score it pretty high because alcohol content means a lot for me in the beer world. And so I think the average on Untapped is 3.88, so like basically a 4 for this, and that's about what I'd give it. Now that we got that out of the way, how about some headlines? There's a story here from The Verge that says Google's in-house incubator made a Waze-like app for the New York City subway. So this is pretty cool. If you've ever used Waze before, Waze is great in terms of if you're doing GPS like on a road trip. It relies on other people's data. Like if I saw like a dead deer in the middle of the road or a big pothole or a police car or something like that, I could go in Waze and just drop a pin where that is, and it'll alert everyone else that comes by that thing's coming up so that they don't get a speeding ticket, they don't ruin their car, all these other things. So as a recent transplant in Denver from New York City, where I lived for 6.5 years, the subway there is atrocious, especially in the summertime and especially during rush hour, which is the 9 to 5 crowd going to and from work each day. This sounds like it won't really rely on internet in the subway, and it'll just give you a traffic report so that before you actually take a train, you kind of know that it's gonna suck or not. So, I don't know, I'm excited to see how it goes. Also, I had no idea that Google had an in-house startup incubator called Area 120, so that's news. Engadget's reporting today that teens are using Facebook less and less. Surprise. The study found that they prefer YouTube, Instagram, and Snapchat more, which Snapchat's a little bit of a surprise. I guess not for teens, but I definitely don't use Snapchat anymore, and nobody that I really know that is in on business and marketing really uses it either. I feel like the story of teens leaving Facebook is as old as Facebook itself, almost, and that's why Facebook bought Instagram, right? And that's why they tried to buy Snapchat, because they knew that the younger demo was going to those platforms in droves, and that whenever they would leave Facebook, they would go, their choices were limited as far as social apps that were left. And so, Google owns YouTube, so Facebook can't get in on that. Facebook paid $1 billion for Instagram back in the day, and that seemed like a lot of money back then, but it actually was only 1% of their market cap. And so that was a really good purchase, because everyone who leaves Facebook, everyone who leaves Snapchat, they're all going to Instagram. And then lastly, Mary Meeker's Internet Trends Report came out recently, today, I guess. And it's something that she does every year. She just releases this massive, like 300 slide report on everything that is going on in tech and like the new trends coming up. And so here are a few takeaways from that. It says half of the world population, or 3.6 billion people, are now on the internet thanks to falling prices for Android smartphones and a doubling of the total Wi-Fi network since 2015. That's incredible. US adults now spend 5.9 hours per day on digital media, up from 5.6 in 2016. I actually secretly think it's higher, especially for me. Twitch streaming and total mobile video viewing hours continue to rise, unlocking potential for new game streamer tools and teen content factories. That's huge. And voice is a big thing. Speech recognition technology is reaching 95% accuracy in some cases. And the mainstream is now rapidly adopting smart speakers and assistants. I have my Echo over here. I got another one in the bedroom. Amazon is always listening to what I'm doing. So that's it for today. The first Craft Beer Thursday is in the books. Let me know what you thought about it. I would love to hear any news that is going on in your world, business, tech, social media, all that stuff I really care about. And yeah, let me know what you think. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to work, and I'll see you tomorrow.